to return normalcy in Hanang. Tanzania set for the A20 midterm review. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Teddy Mparanyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa says the government is doing everything possible to restore Hanang district, especially the Katesh area, to its normal state so that all key economic activities can continue. Here's a report by Joseph Bura, read by Aiden Gaga.
It's mud everywhere. The work to remove the mud continues using machines and graders so as to restore the Katesh area to its normal state. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has visited the areas as well as visiting the people injured in the landslides that occurred at the end of last week and giving condolences from President Samia Suluhu Hassan to those who survived the ordeal. Prime Minister Majaliwa emphasizes that the government, ministries and various departments remain in Hanang, and he directs them to speed up the process of returning all important services to normal.
President Samia has instructed for the efforts to restore this area to continue. As you can see, the machines are on site and more machines will be brought here. The main objective is to make sure we attain normalcy in the next 2 to 3 days. The market area will also be part of the reconstruction so that this area can continue to carry out the usual duties. I call upon all citizens who want to provide any form of support to do so. Contact the heads of responsible authorities and do so, all the while the government continues to provide other services like ambulances and construction facilities.
Prime Minister Majaliwa says the government continues to receive various support and donations to help those affected by the landslides and floods, and welcoming more individuals, institutions and other organizations locally and internationally to offer more help to the victims. He insists the donations provided are coordinated by the Tanzania Prime Minister's Office Disaster Management Department and the Manyara Regional Government only and not otherwise. Prime Minister Majaliwa warns anyone who will misuse the donations in any way, legal action will be taken. So far, 65 people have been confirmed dead, 117 people have been injured.
President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan is expected to grace the opening of the meeting of the midterm review of the 20th cycle of the World Bank's International Development Association IDA 20, which will be held from December 6th to December 8th in the Zanzibar Islands. Rehema Sababili has more.
Briefing the journalist in Zanzibar, Zanzibar Finance Ministry's Principal Secretary Dr. Juma Malik Akili says the review will focus on evaluating the projects implemented in low-income countries through loans and support provided by IDA.
During this conference, there will be various opportunities, including a panel discussion involving deputies and governors. Outside of the meetings, approximately 300 confirmed attendees will have the chance to visit different projects implemented here in Zanzibar as samples. Since the conference is taking place in Zanzibar, they will visit the projects here. And we had planned to also visit Dar es Salaam and Pemba to see the projects being implemented there. However, due to the tight schedule, we decided to focus the project visit only here in Unguja.
Kwa sababu wako Zanzibar wataiangalia Zanzibar.
On the other hand, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, and the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Saada Salum Mkuya, have received the World Bank President, Ajay Banga, who has arrived in the islands for the meeting. Banga will also have the opportunity to visit various projects, including the seaweed agricultural projects implemented in the islands funded by IDA. The president of the World Bank will also have the opportunity to hold talks with the president of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, and the president of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, before concluding his visit. The 20th IDA meeting is expected to bring together 75 borrowers and lenders, 54 donor countries, and the leaders of the World Bank. Reporting from Zanzibar, Rehema Sababili, TBC News.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, Professor Riziki Shemdoe, calls on women to come forward and take advantage of the opportunities in the fishing industry following the conducive environment created by the government. Shemdoe made the call during the regional capacity building workshop on women's groups, associations, and cooperatives and fisheries organized by Food and Agriculture Organization FAO that is being held for 3 days from December 5th in Dar es Salaam. Tena Salimo has more details.
In Africa, women are an important pillar of the small-scale fisheries and aquaculture sector, being at the heart of value chains all the way from canoes to the market. Women are more actively involved in downstreaming activities such as trade, processing, packaging, and marketing. In spite of the central role, little attention is paid to the economic role of women in the fisheries sector, though popular beliefs still do not include women as being part of the fisheries sector, while custom laws, daily interaction, and gender-based constraint all hamper the realization of women's full potential.
We are bringing the women together here. We are trying to build their capacity so that they can be involved the fishing process at large, so that they can also benefit from the resources.
FAO representative in Tanzania, Nyabendi Tito says women's involvement in the value chain is often given little consideration in the design of projects and policies aimed at this sector. However, it is essential to integrate the gender perspective at all stages of any development intervention. Experiences shows that when organized in groups, associations, or cooperatives, women are more efficient in their fishing activities and have more possibilities to increase their income and improve their working conditions.
Women in general, if you look at the fisheries subsector, women are very key in terms of the value chain. Women are part of the marketing chain. They always do the work at the tail end of the fishing sector. They do the processing, do the marketing, and they are faced with a lot of issues along that part of the work they do. They don't go to the sea, but when the fish lands, they take up from there. And that's where it's very important. If you don't address women and their empowerment, you will have a lot of wastage, post-harvest losses, and also the fish will not reach the market.
On the other hand, Lovina Komsini, a fish trader, says the event will enable her to develop and strengthen connection among women's small-scale fisheries and learn from each other's experience.
Mainly working on training ourselves on how to improve and how to find better market linkages, improve our fish processing methods, and also lobby and advocate better for women in fisheries sector.
The workshop brings participants from more than 20 African countries. Tanessa Limo, TBC News.
Minister of State, Prime Minister's Office, Labor, Youth, Employment and the Disabled, Professor Joyce Ndali Chako, says the government will continue to create conducive environment for volunteers in the country so that their work brings positive results to the economy. She made the assurance during the International Volunteers Day celebrations, insisting that skilled manpower is critical in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
Tanzania has not yet developed a specific volunteering policy, but it has taken significant steps towards utilizing volunteers in various sectors of economy. The country has formed various guidelines, strategies, and plans, as well as enacted several legislations to support integrated volunteerism.
On the other hand, the regional manager, United Nations Volunteers for East and Southern Africa, UNVSRO, Lucy Ndugu, elaborates more on this year's International Volunteers Day theme, while some international stakeholders explain the importance of volunteering.
Challenges we face today result largely from human choices and actions, and therefore require our actions to change the course and reimagine our futures.
The role of UN volunteer is very important in working towards the achievement of national development goals, aligning with various development frameworks. Over the past decade, approximately 400 UN volunteers, mostly Tanzanians, have served across 18 UN agencies in the country.
Volunteers bridge the gap between governments and communities, helping to complement government efforts in service delivery and engagement of local communities. Volunteering also helps to bring marginalized groups of people back into the mainstream of the society.
Then chances are you won't see this message until after some days when you can catch your breath and check internet. But I wanted you to know, wherever you are, whatever is the social cause that you volunteer for, the people around will be forever grateful for what you do.
Furthermore, some of the young volunteers say if volunteering is used strategically, it can be a conducive method to upskill young Tanzanians.
The stories of these resilient young girls are not just tales of survival. They are narratives of triumph over adversity. Each volunteer, each act of kindness becomes a catalyst for change in the lives of those girls. It is a testament to the power of volunteering.
I think that volunteering can give an individual the opportunity to uplift those around you, and I value spending my time helping others, as I imagine all the people in this room did as well.
Minister of Health of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, Nasor Ahmed Mazurui, says the meeting between researchers and policymakers from inside and outside the country is of great importance in enabling the government to take progressive steps in the health sector. He made the remarks during the research symposium presentation conducted by various local and foreign researchers, targeting to set recommendations on how the government can benefit from various health research conducted to stimulate development.
It is paramount that the type of research conducted by the training institutions such as MUHAS and the partners such as PharmAccess is delivered to the Tanzanian community. Through this approach, we can then expect research to solve the health problem of the population and improve our lives of Tanzania.
Some participants of the symposium believe that joint collaborations and research will increase productivity and help the nation in various social fields.
We envision to produce graduates with qualities needed to compete in the global market, conduct research with practice and policy implication, and offer professional consultancy services to national and international organizations. To this end, the university strives to formulate and implement flexible but comprehensive strategies which align primarily with countries' policies and vision.
We need innovations, we need new ideas. We also need to learn from things that have worked and things that did not work. We need to drive good policies to make sure that we succeed, and we should be able to scale successful interventions that we have done, together, whether it's government, it's private sector, it's civil society. Everyone needs to learn and do things better and also scale.
We have continuously engagement, and as a result of this engagement, that's where we expect to speed up the UHC journey in the country. So So we are really looking forward for more researches to be done.
More than 200 participants from inside and outside the country are participating in the symposium where various topics related to various research studies will be discussed. Minister of State, Vice President Office, Union and Environment, Dr. Selemani Jaffo, calls on the Adaptation Fund to complete the second accreditation process with the National Environment Management Council, NEMC. He made the call while meeting with the head of the Secretariat of the fund, Miko Olikainen, and his team on the sidelines of the ongoing 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference COP28 in Dubai, United Emirates, earlier today. Dr. Jaffo says NEMC, which is responsible to manage the funds, should work with the Secretariat of the Fund to speed up the reviewing process of the annual reports of the ongoing projects to allow the new annual funds to be released. The Mitigation Fund has promised the work on the reported areas, asserting that some of the key issues have already been worked on. The minister adds that the government will continue to ensure that all institutions applying for registration in the fund succeed in obtaining registration so as to benefit from its benefits. Chief Executive Officer and Director of the Tanzania Institute of Accountancy, TIA, Professor William Palangio, says the construction project of the institution in the Kigoma region has reached 25% and is expected to be completed by December next year. Speaking immediately after inspecting the progress of the project, Professor Palangio says he is satisfied with the work done so far, insisting that the work will be completed on time. Here's the report prepared by Ejidas Odax, read by Faithan Gaga.
This is how the buildings look like, but the construction that is said to change the history of the Kigoma region continues. Upon completion, the region will have 2 higher education institutes from currently 1. Approximately 11 billion shillings is expected to be used for the construction. Currently, the construction has reached more than 25%.
Tunategemea mradi wetu huu uweze kusaidia pia sio tu Kigoma.
We are continuing projects to bring positive results not only in Kigoma but also neighboring regions of Kigoma as well as the countries in the East African community such as Burundi, Rwanda, Congo, Uganda and others who will be interested in joining us.
Masuko Mkuba is the chief engineer of the institute, and here he says the project is implemented in various stages.
For this first phase, we will include a total of 5 buildings that will be built, which are classrooms, computer lab, offices, a dining hall, and an administrative building.
The residents of the Kigoma region eagerly await the completion of the campus, as the move is expected to motivate the locals to equip themselves with technical skills and knowledge.
The residents of this area will have the opportunity to easily reach the relevant college. We will gain education easily and we will reduce the cost due to the presence of having the service nearby.
The Mbeya University of Science and Technology, MUST, has organized the Science Week, aiming to find best methods to transform innovations and researchers into business. Speaking at the opening of the exhibition, the Deputy Dean of the University, Professor Godliving Mtui, says they have organized the Science Week to also inspire more students to do and write research. Here's a report by Adolf Mbata, read by Faithan Gaga.
Some of the students of the Mbeya University of Science and Technology are here to showcase their creative work as part of the Science and Innovation Creativity Week that has been organized by the university, aiming to inspire more students to transform innovations and researches into business. The Deputy Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Godliving Mtui, says the university plans to improve further the infrastructure of the classrooms to boost creativity.
We are in the process of reviewing our curriculum. We want it to be more hands-on with the field discussions, workshop in our studio sessions, so that we can produce experts who are capable of performing their duties well, regardless of the field that they are in. Therefore, we are looking forward to learn from their experience.
Zahoro Muhaji is one of the young innovators who has come to the university to talk to the students on innovation.
Mjue kwamba kuna vijana wenzenu wako mtaani
You'll have to be aware of the fact that there are some young people out there who have established startups which have attracted lots of money from investors. And in the process, their businesses have grown and they have created employment opportunities for others. And in turn, they also became rich. If you are an innovator, you should be aware that your innovation can be turned into commodities.
On the other hand, some students who are here to exhibit their creative works explain more on their creativity.
My innovation provides basic knowledge to patients on various medical tests he or she is about to undergo.
Before we wind up the local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Stay tuned for all the latest in international news. And here is international news compiled by Dorothy Murray and read by Faithan Gaga.
The local emergency management authority says at least 85 civilians were killed in Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, in an airstrike during a Muslim religious celebrations on Sunday. President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria has asked for a thorough and full-fledged investigation into the incident and calls for calm while the authorities look diligently into the mishap. According to State Governor Uba Sani, civilians were mistakenly killed by a military drone targeting terrorists and bandits. Dozens were also wounded. The British government says a new treaty with Rwanda will guarantee the safety of asylum seekers sent to the East African country. The United Kingdom wants to send asylum seekers who arrive in small boats on a one-way ticket to Rwanda. But the plan has been blocked by judges who say it places asylum seekers at risk of being sent onwards to dangerous countries. UK says the new treaty guarantees asylum seekers are not at risk of being returned to a country where their life or freedom will be threatened. A court in Mauritania has jailed former President Mohamed Abdelaziz for 5 years for corruption. It found Aziz guilty of money laundering and abusing his position to illegally enrich himself, but acquitted him on other charges. The court also ordered the confiscation of his illegally acquired assets. He had been on trial in the capital Nouakchott since January alongside 10 other prominent figures, including 2 former prime ministers and former ministers who served in his administration. Aziz maintained his innocence throughout the trial and described his prosecution as politically motivated.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, Simba Sports Club defender Chemalon Fondo believes that they have a strong team to beat Wydad Casablanca in CAF Champions League third match away in Morocco. Speaking before the team left for Morocco, Fondo insists that the team knows that the match will be difficult, especially away in Morocco, but they have prepared very well and they are ready to surprise their opponent.
It won't be easy. They also are looking for points. They are the last of the group with 0 points. We are second to last with 2 points, so it won't be an easy game because a loss between us, Wydad and Simba, the person who loses, that will be all for him. There will be no time to catch up.
Wydad started the CAF Champions League campaign poorly as they registered 3 back-to-back defeats, while their arch-rivals Simba had a draw to match with 2 points in hand as Group B is locked in balance. Tanzania Rugby Union TRAU chairperson Fatma El-Kindi says they are working hard to form a strong team which will display tough opposition in the African Rugby Championships to be held in Accra, Ghana, March next year. Speaking to TBC News, El-Kindi believes that the competition will boost the development of women rugby in the country.
In the near future, we hope to be able to compete in all Africa Games in Accra, Ghana, and to make sure we do that, we have to have more games in Tanzania. But we have had many games, and we are going to still be able to get one team, national team, the first ever national team to go to Accra, Ghana, and this will be the best opportunity for Tanzania to be put on the map of Africa.
Tanzania will be represented by 2 teams, men and women, as the goal is to gain experience in the sport, considering it a significant opportunity for the development of women's rugby in the country. And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mparinyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.